Number 5. LG B9 Best Colors. LG OLED 65B9 isn't quite as pretty as its step-up C9 sibling, in the main due to its smaller stand. It's still incredibly thin around the edges of its rear, and the slim section of the rear panel is still beautifully finished. Build quality feels exceptional, so while the screen is mind-bogglingly thin in places, it doesn't at all feel fragile. The LG OLED 65B9 star attraction is simply the way it gives you access to LG's OLED screen technology for relatively little cash. OLED's main attraction being, of course, that each pixel produces its own light. The OLED 65B9 drives all those self-emissive pixels with LG's second-generation Alpha 7 processor. This is a step down in power and feature terms from the Alpha 9 chipset found in the C9 series. Not surprisingly, this has a negative impact on the LG B9's pictures, but it certainly doesn't stop the B9 from being a great TV. The LG B9 supports HDR10, Dolby Vision and HLG high dynamic range formats. As you'd expect of a 65-inch TV, the LG B9 carries 4 HDMIs, 3 USBs, and the usual Bluetooth and Wi-Fi cable-free options. Where the OLED 65B9 departs from the norm is with the version of HDMI it uses, however. While most brands only offer HDMI 2.0 ports on their 4K TVs, with perhaps the 1 or 2 features associated with V2.1 ports, here all 4 HDMIs are full bandwidth HDMI 2.1. This means they should be compatible with potential 4K 120Hz games offered by the next generation of games consoles. Overall, it has everything you'd need from an OLED TV, and I highly recommend it. Number 4. LG GX OLED Best for Sports. The LG Gallery Series GX OLED is a home cinema lover's dream come true, an exemplary flat screen that uses all the latest specs and standards, from Dolby Vision and Atmos to Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa, from Chromecast built-in to AirPlay 2.0. While the outside is a marvel of engineering, inside you've got the all-new LG Alpha A9 Gen 3 processor that adds better facial recognition and multi-step noise reduction to LG's already great HD to 4K upscaling and much improved motion processing technology. When it comes to the inputs, you'll find 4 HDMI 2.1 inputs, all capable of handling 4K at up to 120Hz in 10-bit HDR with 4:4:4 chroma sampling, and 1 with EARC or ARC support, plus 3 USB ports to power devices or host USB flash drives, as well as optical audio out and an aux audio port. Last but not least, you'll find the RF tuner that is ATSC 3.0 compatible, so it's relatively future-proof in terms of broadcast TV support. As you'd expect, content across the board looks amazing on the GX OLED. HD or SDR content looks better than ever before thanks to the new Image Alpha A9 Gen 3 processor, and 4K HDR content has the pixel-perfect black levels and color accuracy you've come to expect with an OLED. But by far our favourite improvement is the significant boost to motion handling in more picture settings. That said, the only thing that can really hurt the performance of this TV are its limited brightness and overly reflective glass screen, especially if you plan on putting this TV in an already bright living room with a lot of windows. Otherwise, it's an amazing TV. Number 3. Sony A8H Best for Movies or Shows. The Sony Bravia A8H OLED is a no-brainer pick when flawless picture and sound are what you want. With top-notch colour, incredibly crisp detail and the latest and best version of Android TV out there, there's a lot to love about the new Sony OLED. It's an incredible TV, and it's absolutely worth considering if you're in the market for something in this size. When it first came out, I had high expectations, but the Sony A8H is more than just beautiful 4K picture. It has Sony's impressive X-Motion Clarity motion smoothing powered by the X1 Ultimate Picture processor. That excellent picture is matched by the return of acoustic surface audio, which offers better audio than ever right from the screen. In terms of pure movie-watching performance, the Sony Bravia A8H OLED proved itself the category leader for premium OLED TVs. Definitely worth it if you have a bit of money to spend on a high-end TV. If your heart's set on OLED, and if you want a picture so lifelike and vibrant it looks like you're peering through a window into another world, you'll be hard-pressed to do better than the Sony A8H. Number 2. LG C9 Best All-Rounder. The C-Class OLED gets you all of LG's most advanced picture and processing tech in the most affordable package. There is a cheaper LG OLED, the B9, about which we spoke earlier, but it has a less sophisticated processor and doesn't have the new AI features. You can go more expensive too with the E9, W9 or R9, but while each offers a different design and sound solution, they are identical in terms of picture. Even though it is the most basic model, the LG C9 is a lovely looking set. Viewed from the side, it looks striking, with its combination of a preposterously thin panel and a compact plastic appendage for the connections, processing technology and the speakers. Even at its thickest point, the 65-inch C9 measures just 4.7 centimeters. Under the skin is the second-generation version of last year's Alpha 9 processor, which adds AI technology designed to automatically optimize the picture and sound based on the content being played and the room in which the TV is located. Tweaked accordingly, the C9 produces a lovely picture. Colors are also lovely, with a slight richness lending a charming organic warmth to skin tones and real splendor to sunrises and sunsets. LG's OLEDs have always majored in naturalism, and it's no different here. There's real subtlety and nuance in shades. If you want a TV for watching movies, TV shows and gaming from time to time, the C9 is hard to beat. Number 1. LG CX, best for gaming. It's hard not to love OLED, and the LG CX OLED is no exception. With its intense highlights and inky blacks, this 65-inch OLED boasts a crispness that still has LCD and quantum dot sets struggling to catch up. LG has improved on this OLED, beefing up its video processing with a new Alpha 9 Gen 3 processor and its touted AI Think software. One of its primary functions is to differentiate between different types of on-screen objects, such as faces and graphics, for example, to deliver more detailed processing. You can also set the software to detect what kind of content, sports versus movies, is being watched and automatically adjust the picture. The CX also supports the most popular 4K high dynamic range formats, including HDR10 and HLG, which is intended for streaming services like YouTube and 4K broadcasts from the likes of DirecTV. And the CX supports the increasingly popular Dolby Vision HDR format, now boosted with an IQ designation that means the TV can adjust the picture according to the perceived light conditions in the room. LG has also added several performance features for gaming. There's a reduced latency game mode, of course. It's the auto low latency mode, which works well with Xbox and PlayStation. LG also supports Nvidia's G-Sync and Open FreeSync for those inclined to connect a gaming laptop and looking to get the smoothest images possible. And LG supports HDIG for HDR gaming. If you're planning on buying a gaming TV this year, you won't find better than the LG CX. Buying guide. Smart features. Smart TVs are pretty much standard these days, and this is a good thing. If you're not streaming content now, you will be soon. The world is going this way. A smart TV lets you cut the cord and enjoy wireless freedom and control. Smart TVs make it possible to cut the cord and get rid of your cable or satellite service thanks to the native apps they come with. Streaming services like Netflix, Prime, Hulu, YouTube and Amazon Prime Video. View pretty much any content on your TV, including all the home videos, photos and music on your phone or computer. Size. Once upon a time, the family sofa determined how big or small the TV should be, as in the further away the sofa, the bigger the TV. But today's TVs are rewriting all the rules, so that's over. In fact, the one thing every serious review of current 4K TVs will tell you, bigger is better. Go too small and you'll regret it. That's how amazing TVs are these days, not only with respect to picture, but design as well. We've gone from big, gaudy black boxes that take up space and clash with everything, to incredibly thin, beautifully designed TVs that work with your room and range in size from 32 to 100 inches. Resolution. Let's get this out of the way. 4K and Ultra HD are the same thing. Both refer to screen resolution and the number of pixels on the screen. The more pixels, the better, sharper and more lifelike the picture. 5 years ago, 4K arrived and we went from over 2 million pixels to over 8 million pixels, and we all found out what perfect really looks like. And though there's not a ton of 4K content available yet, content providers of all sorts are preparing to release almost everything in 4K, and your new 4K TV will be equipped to handle this exciting